Well, coming up on today's show, Tesla jumps to number one in another ranking. Formula E announced a very special YouTuber deal. And Polestar has been intentionally crashing their new EV, the Polestar 1. Well, good morning, good afternoon and good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to EV News Daily. It's Friday the 2nd of November. It's Martyn Lee here. And I'd like to say that I've been through every EV story I can find today, but I'm currently away travelling for 2 days with family, so I've been through all the big stories that you need to know about. A couple of the optional ones. I'm going to do a bonus one at the weekend for you, an extra news edition over the weekend on Saturday, just for the stuff that I haven't got time to do today. Still staying in the guest house, by the way. A great little visit to go see the family, who are all super interested in EV News Daily and working on some exciting stuff in the future and for other projects all around EVs, if you like, the EV space. I can say no more for now, but it's super exciting, and I think you may be interested when I can finally tell you more. Well, thank you very much to myev.com for helping us make the show. They have built the first marketplace around that is specifically about buying and selling EVs, used EVs in North America. If you are lucky enough to have that in your area, go check out how many cars they're listing now, and if you've been promising yourself a little early Christmas present, maybe check it out. We'll start with a tweet. This is from Ryan. Now, Ryan Popple is the CEO of Proterra and a former senior member of Tesla's management as well. He said this today, and I quote, "Today, Proterra is proud to announce our joint development program with Thomas Built Buses, a division of Daimler Truck and Bus. We are displaying the first Proterra-powered EV school bus. Long range and CCS fast charging compatible, coming to schools near you." End tweets. And Proterra are doing some amazing stuff in the EV space and the bus space for EVs. And what better vehicle to get rid of diesel particulates from than young lungs, if you like, school buses. Just the perfect thing to be electrifying first. We'll start with a really big number, a really big story today on the podcast. Tesla has gone to number one, but number one globally. No one's going to beat the Chinese, right? Wrong. Mark Kane at InsideEVs has some news today, really big news about electric car sales. Let me catch you up if you are new to the podcast. China has been leading the EV push over the last couple of years. A combination of things, lots of investment EVs, lots of incentives, lots of regional companies using regional incentives to launch and make what might not be an EV that you would want to buy, but it's still an electric car that suits some of the Chinese markets. I mean, they've been making them in the millions, right? Along came the Model 3. According to the latest comparison released by the EV sales blog, Tesla has now become the biggest manufacturer of electric cars amongst all automotive groups, and that includes plug-in hybrids as well. That's an improvement from the second place that they were in 2 months ago. The changes concern BYD. Now, BYD, which stands for Build Your Dreams, a legendary electric vehicle maker making huge numbers of EVs, which through record results improved from third to second. The Renault-Nissan-Mitsubishi Alliance fell down 2 positions, down to number 3. Results for the first 9 months of 2018 show that Tesla has a 12% share of the world's EV market, 154,000 cars sold, BYD 137, and Renault-Nissan-Mitsubishi 131,000. Of course, if you take all of the country data, well, of course, China is still way ahead. So if you add all of the Chinese manufacturers together, there's so many of them being built. The numbers are just staggering. And really, the only company outside of China making EVs at scale at the moment is Tesla. And now it's November. We can look back at the October sales and start to build a picture from those October sales numbers, particularly the Tesla Model 3. For the first time since June earlier this year, when sales fell to 5,902 for the month compared to about 6,000 Model 3s sold the previous month in May, we can report that the Model 3 sales have taken a bit of a downturn actually in October. InsideEVs initial estimates, which will be updated again later today, they say, put the Tesla Model 3 at 17,750 in the US last month, not including Canada sales, by the way. That's still the third best sales result ever for the Model 3 in the US, and it's being the first month of a new quarter. Not surprising. That final month push in the quarter 3 results really did mean that other things perhaps were delayed by just a little bit. Maybe the new software coming out, the European homologation, European testing, not right-hand drive cars just yet, but still left-hand drive cars for Europe. And if you look at the year-on-year figures, it's just a runaway success for the Model 3. In October last year, October 2017, the Tesla Model 3 sold 145 cars. 145 lucky people who lived near the Fremont factory got their Model 3. Last month, that number, 17,750. That's 122 times the amount in a year. Now that is how you ramp a product, and that is how you get to be number one if you are Tesla. And not looking like they're going to relinquish that position anytime soon. But like I said, those big Chinese manufacturers continue to make huge amounts of cars. And perhaps what's surprising actually is how the legendary Nissan Leaf, which is still the world's most popular EV, by the way, over 300,000 Leafs have been sold if you look at the both Gen 1 and Gen 2 models. That original kind of bug-eyed one that not everyone was a keen fan of the styling, and the new one as well, which was released last year. Then it's still the most popular EV in the world as a single model, but the Model 3 certainly has its sights on that stat as well. You know I'm a huge fan of Formula E. Let's move on and talk about Formula E, particularly with this new season. And the season isn't calendar year. The season starts in December. You know, I'm a huge fan of Formula E because I think it can show people that electric cars can go a long way and very fast and provide thrills and spills and excitement as well. And the first few seasons maybe weren't the best for the casual viewer because, of course, you had that car swap halfway too. So the drivers would race half the distance, come into the pits, pull over, jump out, jump into another car that was fully charged, get strapped in, and off they would go as well. This new generation car, of course, double the power, but double the storage, now made by McLaren, the Formula One team, McLaren, the insides of that, rather than Williams, also a big Formula One name. And it means that the cars can go for the whole race without having to stop. And I think that's going to be a turning point for Formula E. I'm such a huge fan. And it's announced a new partnership today with YouTube, which means races are going to be streamed live, at least here in the UK, for the very first time from the opening round of Season 5, writes Alex at motorsport.com. Well, Formula E previously broadcasted practice and qualifying on YouTube, but the full event was only available as a rerun on YouTube. The races weren't live. Now this new deal starts out as a what they're calling a supplementary streaming service, which I don't quite understand that. It's got the ambition of expanding viewing opportunities in new markets. The races are going to be presented by a team of YouTube influencers, anchored by the regular host, who is Lawrence McKenna, in a studio at the YouTube space in London. And it's something that Formula One is just starting to fix now that Formula One is owned by new owners. The previous owners of Formula One could never work out how to monetize social media and things like that, so they shunned it. And it really lost the younger audience who are now tuning into Formula E. Formula One is starting to fix that. More stuff is being made available on YouTube. YouTube, I don't think, are getting as many takedown requests when fans post content online. Before that, Formula One were always really protective of their copyright and issued a ton of takedown requests of anything that was Formula One related on YouTube. Of course, Formula E has really embraced new technology and new ways to watch it, and that really suits me as well. If I'm out and about, I can open the YouTube app and watch a Formula E race. It makes so much more sense. Really looking forward to the interactive nature of this season as well. It involves the fans more than ever. Really can't wait. And of course, with some of those Formula One drivers like Stoffel Van Dorn making the switch from McLaren to Formula E and looking for a full Mercedes drive maybe the season after as well, it's going to be a great season. Talking of very fast cars, very, very fast cars. Volvo's spin-off company. You know, like all these companies have their performance parts. Like Mercedes has AMG. Okay, so Volvo has Polestar, and Polestar are making the Polestar 1, their very first electric car. It's a hybrid. It's got a big turbocharged engine in the front and a big battery as well, let's face it, and a big motor. The Polestar 1 has been doing a series of crash tests as part of the development of that car, and it represents the first time that Volvo has assessed the strength of a carbon fibre reinforced polymer body in a real crash situation. That's in contrast to a steel body where bending helps crumple zones and reduces the energy of a crash for the occupants. Well, carbon fibre dissipates energy by cracking and shattering, really, according to Electric Cars report. Close attention has been given to the way that the carbon fibre body reacts to these extreme forces. The engineers also focused on how the underlying steel body structure with the carbon fibre dragonfly, which strengthens it, manages those crash forces. I'll put a full link to the article that I took this from if you are really interested in that. Polestar 1, a fascinating car, what with it being a fossil car, but with a big motor, big battery as well, like almost 100 miles of pure EV range. Of course, it's a plug-in, everything up from onwards though, so I think they're going to do numbers. I think it'll be Polestar 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Every future Polestar car, though, are going to be pure electric, and we know they're going to be quick because that is the Polestar brand. Well, I talk a lot about Tesla being more than a car company. In fact, previously I've said that Tesla aren't a car company, and I didn't get too many people disagreeing with me. Well, they're based in Silicon Valley, and they are at heart, I think, a software company. I think that's what they do. They happen to provide that software to you through a bent piece of metal with 4 wheels and some batteries. But I think in essence, they are a software company. But on other days, I'll also make the argument that Tesla are an energy company. Just as the energy company that supplies energy to your house is somewhere that has ultimately control over your energy usage, because if they decide to turn it off and there's a blackout, well, you can't exactly just switch to somebody else overnight. And I think that's on a maybe 10 to 20 year scale. Maybe that's Tesla. Maybe they're an energy company because, of course, they have their own solar panel part of the company, which very few people ever report on. Fred at Electrek has been looking at that. A new report shows that Tesla Energy is now using its own Tesla-branded solar panels. They're made by Panasonic, and they're made at Gigafactory 2. We don't talk about Gigafactory 2 either. That's in Buffalo. Before the company Solar City was bought by Tesla, they were already working on their own solar panel technology. But it was only installing solar modules really from a variety of other suppliers. After Solar City was acquired by Tesla, their CEO Elon Musk pushed for a different product differentiation in their solar. Now, the big thing really was the solar roof tiles that they're talked about the most. They replaced the tiles on your roof, but each little tile is a little mini solar panel, if you like. The roof tiles look gorgeous, but aren't quite ready. However, they have been working on their regular solar panels, and the ramp up was slow, but we've now learned Tesla have ramped up installations of its own solar panels to 68% of all installs in California. In July this year, for instance, according to the most recent data compiled. I'll put a link to that article in the show notes. And once again, it's a little reminder that won't get reported very far and wide, but a reminder that Tesla, above all at times, is an energy company. They want to put solar panels on your roof. They want you to drive an electric car. They want to put their batteries in your garage or on the side of your house. And they really want to get involved with everything, not just how you move from A to B, but the energy you use in the future. And that's super interesting. Well, Elon has been tweeting, and he's been tweeting about the summon mode. Yes, this basically turns your Tesla into Kit from Knight Rider. Tesla's been tweeting about the advanced summon being ready in around 6 weeks. An over-the-air software update, which of course all Teslas can do. If you didn't know that, they've got their SIM card inside. They connect to your Wi-Fi at home as well when they're sitting outside your house. And in the middle of the night, when they need to upgrade themselves, they will. And if you know anything about the kind of Tesla ecosystem, you'll know that in the last couple of years, they've been using the autopilot hardware version 2. So anything from version 2 onwards, you'll be able to drive your car from your phone. It'll follow you like a pet if you want, if you hold down the summon button. Do you remember a scene in James Bond where he's given a flip phone and then he can drive his BMW car from his phone? Then he gets chased by the bad guys and he's hiding in the back seat while they're racing around a car park, and he's driving the car from his phone. Pure sci-fi, right? Not anymore. When Tesla upgrade their summon feature soon, the auto parking feature, ready within 6 weeks, it's going to allow vehicles to drive around the parking lot on their own. They'll find a parking spot on their own. They'll read parking signs on their own. And the upgrade is going to be compatible with all of the autopilot version 2 hardware. And so you can operate your car remotely like that big remote control car that James Bond was doing, as long as the safety thing they've put in is line of sight. So you can do this from a very long distance. You could even do it from remotely if you wanted to. But the safety feature that they've built into this to stop people abusing it is you have to be in line of sight of your car. And that seems sensible to me. I mean, it would be nice to be in my office or something and to look down at my phone and steer the car to the front door, but maybe slightly dangerous. So I like the idea that they've built in this little safety precaution that you have to be within line of sight of your car, but then you can drive it from your mobile phone. And you can just move your finger across the screen and the car will drive forwards, backwards. You can move it around. You can steer the car as well. The summon feature, which is part of Tesla's driver assist self-pilot program, currently allows Model S drivers to park their cars from outside the vehicle if it's a really tight spot. Of course, you can get out of the car, shut the door, and at the moment you can move the car short distances, if you like, into the parking space using your mobile phone. But this is that on steroids. It's going to be amazing. And finally, congratulations to Jaguar, the I-Pace, electric Jaguar I-Pace, which is a stunning car, and I've still not driven, although I did have an invite today from our friends at eVision Rentals. They're based in the south of England, and they're getting their own I-Pace. And they said, we're getting it on this date. Do you want to come and see it? Yes. Yes, please. Still never driven one. And it's an impressive car. So much so that it's now won the 2019 German Car of the Year award. It's pitted against 58 different competitors, and a jury of 12 expert journalists chose the I-Pace after a demanding series of tests. The I-Pace and the E-Pace actually shortlisted for the Women's World Car of the Year award. While the British EV topped the shortlist of 5 to win the award, the jury evaluated design, performance, ride, handling, future viability, and general relevance of each model on the road at the Blisterberg circuit. Now, my dad has driven this car at an EV Experience Day that our friends at EO Charging were at, actually, funnily enough. And he's driven the I-Pace, and he does say the acceleration is just off the charts. An amazing car, very luxurious, incredibly well made. He was hugely impressed. All I've seen so far is like Bjorn Nyland's Autobahn videos in Germany, where he's like, okay, let's give this the beans, the full beans, and let's see how fast we can go. And just the sheer acceleration at speed. Normally you're used to EVs, unless it's an expensive Tesla, you're used to EVs running at a bit of puff at the top end, but this just keeps pulling and pulling and pulling. Massively impressive. I'm looking forward to driving one, and of course I'll bring you that on the podcast. Well, thank you very much to myev.com who have set us this week's question of the week. Keep your comments coming in because I'll read them all out on Sunday. We always read out your answers on Sunday and set a new question on a Sunday as well. And here it is this week. If you could put a public charger anywhere, not your house, where would you like it to make your life easier? If you want to imagine that I'm writing you a check for an EVSE, have it installed wherever you want. If you're an EV owner, if you're EV curious, if you don't want to buy an EV one day in the future, where would you need a public charger to make your life easy? Or speed as well. And let me know why. Thank you very much to 112 patrons of the podcast, whose generosity means we get to make this show. Thank you very much to everybody who supports at patreon.com/EV News Daily. If you're new to us, and I can see the podcast stats are going up every day around the world, then Patreon is this place where it's a website where people who create something every day can go on, whether it's artists, songwriters, poets, people who make something, and podcasters as well, stand-up comedians even. Anyone who kind of makes something kind of creative, you can go on there, and if you want to support a creator at a certain financial commitment, you can do that as well, and you get little bonus rewards as well. So maybe it's $5 or $10, or if you're a company, if you're listening to me and you have a business, it's like $50 or $150, and then you get certain things in return for that as well, and you help to support hopefully this, which, you know, I mean, I learn a lot from researching this show every day. I hope you learn a little bit each day, and it's a little bit entertaining. That'd be nice if we all learn something as well, and hopefully spread the good word of electric cars, of which there are 283 previous episodes. Now, they are all online for free in the usual places you get podcasts, and on YouTube, and the WordPress blog, which is evnewsdaily.com. If you subscribe at any of those places, you get it first, and you get it free, and you get it automatically. We all love free stuff, and it means that you get the podcast before anyone else. So hit that subscribe button, and you can come and say hi on my socials by searching EV News Daily. Do have a really wonderful day. That bonus episode, like I say, with the news that I didn't get a chance to prep because I'm on holidays at the moment, will be on the way. Have a wonderful day. I'll catch you tomorrow.